This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
If you want to chime in what's happening with your favorite KFAN shows, you can make your voice heard on the Brad Sean Bryant KFAN text line. So let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That is 64686. Standard text message and data rate supply.
Well, we got another juicy little WNBA controversy to discuss. And as it turns out, Cheryl Reeve is right smack dab in the middle of it. And in this case, has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark.
Right.
That's the beauty of it. But apparently, I think tomorrow, your suddenly not so red-hot Lynx are taking on the New York Liberty, correct?
Yes.
And this is, I said, I think tomorrow. Is that home or road? I don't remember.
That's here at Target Center.
Here at Target Center. So somehow, rightly, the subject of veteran big Emma Meesman came up. We talked about her. The word was that she was ready to return to the WNBA. And the question was, as an outstanding player, fresh off international stardom, which team would she end up with? And there were a lot of folks betting on the Lynx, given how good they are, given that Nafisa Collier has played with her overseas, and there's an opening there. So it felt like, okay, this makes all the sense in the world. The New York Liberty said, not so fast, my friends, and they got her. She has not yet played. I don't even know if she's back in the country yet, but she's expected to join the team for the stretch run of the season, and then perhaps the postseason. According to your guy, Tiny Joe Nelson, well, this is actually Will Ragatz wrote this.
Yep.
Via bringmethenews.com. Here's the direct quote from Reeve. She made the wrong choice. How good is this for Inkstein Wretches and
it's great,
and Radio Jackals as well? This is delicious. This is what, and to her credit, this is the kind of comment that a lot of coaches, even if deep down they are annoyed, they won't make. They just won't. They're afraid of it because they think, what if it comes back to haunt us?
Yep.
What if she dominates us? And what if they beat us? Well, she'll have to live with all that, I guess.
Yep.
But I think for her, she's so competitive, it doesn't matter. So to me, this is the Cheryl Reeve I love, and I think you appreciate as well.
Yes, because no lives are at stake.
Not backing away from it and saying, she made the wrong choice. What I still want to know, and I don't think we've had anything written about this. If we have, send it to me. Somebody, everybody, on, all right, what's the back channel story on why she ended up in New York? More money? Possibly. We were not willing to go as far as the Liberty was. This is sort of backstory that I think sports fans revel in, certainly involving NBA players, NFL players. It should be no different.
Should be an oral history.
With WNBA players,
the Meesman
how did it happen?
Saga.
And it'll mean even more if she does end up being a difference maker, right?
Yeah.
All the best. So
maybe we overplayed. Maybe we were stretched, or somebody jumped the gun on thinking that it was a fait accompli. She was going to come here to begin with. Maybe it was always New York.
That's very possible.
We have no idea. Maybe Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, said, no, you need to go to New York.
Decree that you go to New York.
It'll be a lot easier.
So that's exactly right. That may have been just too much idle speculation. However, I would suggest the quote from Cheryl Reeve indicates there is a backstory.
Yes.
And that they may have even thought they did have the inside track to get her. I don't know if in this, I'm trying to see, let me see the link here, where this came from. Well, it's not linking for me.
While you talk, J.J. McCarthy layered.
Another layer?
A nice layered throw to Aaron Jones. They're doing the 2-minute drill right now. Unfortunately, though, Will Reichert missed the field goal. They ran the field goal unit out there. He missed it. Sam Howell just found Rondale Moore, who you know I love from his Purdue days.
Yes.
Over the middle, but it doesn't look like they picked up the first down. So Ryan Wright is on to punt.
Oh.
And now let's see who's coming out here. Is it Brosmer? I'd recognize that gate anywhere. No, it's not. It's J.J. McCarthy again. It's J.J. McCarthy again. So it looks like the ones are back out there. Mason is back there as the running back, it looks like.
Here's Shelby Swanson via her ex. That's the link on this particular story. Star Tribune. At the end of her practice media availability today, Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve was asked again about her thoughts on Belgian forward Emma Meesman's commitment to the New York Liberty. She made the wrong choice. If I'd realized there was sound here, I would have tried to get it along to maybe we can even get it in the top 5 at 5 with Brett Blakemore if he checks out the Twitter handle of Shelby Swanson. For context, she writes, the Lynx, led by associate coach Eric Tebow, heavily pursued Meesman, the best free agent in the world. Her decision came down to New York, Phoenix, and Minnesota. She chose New York and is still going through the visa application process before she could play. And then somebody is responding in French.
That's not going to help us.
Which isn't going to help us because I can't read French. Can you?
I cannot, no. Didn't take French at any of my colleges.
Yeah, there it is. So then here's an example, like a couple people saying Cheryl's lack of media training is always good for a media soundbite. I don't want her to be trained in that way,
and I don't think that's the right media training.
No, what? That's what I'm saying. That's not that doesn't. There's nothing that she has to apologize. It wasn't like, well, if she'd done the basics, she'd know that she just can't go down that road. She can go down that road. I like that she's willing to because a lot of coaches, obviously for reasons that we've already laid out, just don't want to go there. So, I guess that might come from a person who wants everything sanitized. Right? And says, well, that's the kind of training you need to get. Because it may well be that PR people would say,
exactly right.
I don't know if you want to go down this road.
Exactly right.
But I would say, good. Go down this road. So maybe we can glean more of the backstory. Now, she's kind of grinning as she's saying it. I think she's having fun with it as well. It wasn't like she's snarling when she says it, but I love it. That's the kind of stuff that
it's fun.
I actually think this league needs more of is the willingness to go down that road and not really worry so much about the consequences. Now, we've said when it comes to all the Caitlin Clark phenomenon in the last year and a half, there have been a lot of missteps that you could say, well, they're just being honest, and say, well, I'm still not sure I understand why that's the honest viewpoint, which seems to indicate still a level of envy and jealousy. By the way, is she ever going to play again, Clark?
It's been a rough year.
What's going on?
Right? Well, groins are tricky.
She's soft. Yeah. That's what it is.
You think so?
She's soft. Well, I'm just asking. Is that the latest injury a groin injury?
Yeah, it happened the Friday night before or Thursday night before All-Star Weekend.
That was groin, okay.
Yeah,
those can be tricky.
It was a re-aggravation.
Yeah. Are they going to miss the playoffs, or can they not because there's not enough teams?
I'll be honest, I haven't looked at their particular standing.
I think they're playing 500 hockey right now.
So here's Reichert again. It looks like that one goes right down the uprights and good.
Split the uprights?
52, Paul Allen says. Nice. Sam Howell with a nice pass. That got him
with the wind.
Goal. He did have a little bit of a wind.
Come on, man.
A little bit of a wind at his back.
Yeah.
McCarthy airmailed it to Jordan Mason on his last rep.
So airmail means bad.
Not good.
Throw.
Yeah, not good. And now he's back out there. Looks like Aaron Jones is back into the huddle. Looks like they're basically doing like a third down. They got to get it and then get into field goal range and kick it is the moment that they're working on here in period 10. Period number 10.
Is this J-Mac from the gun?
Yep.
From the gun, right?
JJ trips right. Someone's in motion. That's Hawkinson. Now he comes back left. McCarthy's looking left the entire way. Now fires left, looking for who is that? All the way down there. It was underthrown.
Yeah, it's not a good throw.
By about 10 yards.
That was a deep left out, basically.
That was Speedy Naylor. Not a good throw.
Yeah. No, that was not him at his best.
Now he's walking back with KOC. He just clasped his hands together. Or is that McCown that he's talking to?
Could be McCown.
I can't tell. I need PA's binoculars. Yeah, that's McCown because KOC's to the left.
McCown has a similar hairstyle as PA. Just thick.
Does he?
Locks. It's unbelievable. Just piled up on the top of the head, almost in bouffant fashion. It's unbelievable.
If you have it, why not?
That's it. It's remarkable to see. There's no question about that. Was that a punt?
Ryan Wright into punt.
Coffin corner?
Yeah, looks like they're going to try to down it at the 1 or 2. I'm not sure if they saved it all the way down there.
All right, let's do this. Let's stay on schedule. We'll pause, and we'll come back with more play-by-play from Vikings training camp. Jonathan Greenard is scheduled to join us after today's session. Kevin Seifert will join us after Greenard. So lots of football yet to come. Ode to a dead guy to get to in the top 5, or I should say after the top 5 as well, on a more comfortable, warm, but now with a little bit of cloud cover, much more reasonable summer afternoon here in Eagan, Minnesota. Back in a minute.
Vikings football is back. Come find your Mall of America street team each day at Vikings training camp to find out how you could win some awesome prizes, including Mall of America mystery cards or tickets to an upcoming Vikings game. Full details now, KFAN.com. Keep your calendar.
Well, I'll tell you, not an auspicious day for the offense, Guardsy. Is this further proof that this defense is about to become the talk of the National Football League? Is B-Flow, does he enjoy, does he have like this sick sense of humor where he just loves torturing
I'm sure he does.
these folks?
I'm sure he does.
Okay,
Wouldn't you?
You think you got this new hotshot quarterback who's going to change the world?
Right.
Well, take a look at this disguised coverage. See what you can do with this, J-Mac. And the answer is not much, although the last pick was not him. It was Howell.
Howell, yeah.
Well, it's looking up for Brosmer Brownstones more every day.
So much so, though, he's not getting any reps today. They're almost like, we can't put him in now.
Well, my guess is they already have seen enough that they know what he can do. They're trying to give Howell a chance to be the backup. He's supposed to be the backup. That was the plan, right?
So preseason game number 1, it's the Texans, right?
Yes.
I think that's who we play. Well, we hear Pete Bursich say to Paul Allen, we're seeing the sophisticated defense of Brian Flores. Will we hear him say that? Because this is master's level now, right? That's what Metellus said.
That's what they're saying, yeah.
Metellus said it was,
might be doctorate level.
100, 200, 300 level the last couple of years, and now another missed field goal. Is that Reichert again? Man, Tice is about to call fan line. He's missed a couple here. This is not good.
Yeah, it's been maybe I guess
a little blustery.
Maybe our defense is just this good. That's maybe what we're going to discover. We don't know it yet, but I do think, I'm guessing, you want to see a little more offensively.
Yes.
Than we've seen today. And that was we got into this, I cautioned yesterday because that was a lot of the talk, wasn't it? Yesterday, well, look at this defense is just killing the offense. I always worry about making too much of any one set of practices. So I don't want to completely be a fraud and reverse today, but
back-to-back.
Back-to-back, there may be some things that are worthy of discussion. And, again, it's, a young quarterback. So the assumption is that no matter how much you're saying we're going to help him out, we're going to run more, we're going to be more conservative, whatever the case may be, you still have to make some plays. Now, we still don't have our starting left tackle out there, right? Now, Fries is out there, is what PA noticed via those massive binoculars he's got. But we still don't have the entire intact offensive line.
Right.
That has to be factored in. We're in shells today.
I was going to say, that's the headline.
So,
this is just helmets and shoulder pads.
I think it might be a little bit early to panic. So what's the plan? They're wrapping up. Do we hang on now, or do we try to get an early break?
No, hang on, and then we can go to 42.
Okay, good.
Yep.
We will do expect to visit with Jonathan Greenard, who... Well, you heard some comments from the head coach. Was that earlier today or yesterday?
It was the press conference today.
Basically saying it looks like the proverbial man on a mission.
He's taken everything to a different level this year.
Think about it.
Is what KOC said. And he basically ended practice yesterday with a sack. And said that it was off, I think, the Seifert comments about the couple sacks that McCarthy took yesterday where he didn't even throw the ball.
Yep.
And KOC, one of the comments was essentially, one of them, Jonathan Greenard, just ended everything. Just ended the drill.
There's no point in going
that's
forward
what happens.
from that point.
That's what happens every once in a while. You get a rep, he ends it, and that's all she wrote.
I guess it's probably too early in camp, too, to consider. I think there's still the assumption there's a chance we might add a corner at some point.
Could be.
A veteran corner. We'll see how that goes.
They seem to like Akuda.
Yeah, they do seem to.
They seem to like the former Lion, the former third overall pick. Pedigree.
He's got great pedigree. There's no question. He just hasn't. I think health has been his biggest issue.
A lot, yep.
Been an important part of it. Looks like some serious conversating is going on right now. Is KOC yelling at people?
The head's bobbing a little bit.
Is it?
He's going over and over. This is where we need the boom mic.
Well, this got to be embarrassing. He's the great offensive mind.
Yeah.
So he's saying, I can't. You guys are making me look bad.
Right.
I know B-Flow's pretty good. I know we got a good defense, but come on, there's limits to what we can expect. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a great Shell's mind.
Right.
So I don't know how you factor that into how much fear and loathing you get, but it sounds like the head coach is not particularly pleased.
Are they pads tomorrow, PA? Do we know if they're pads tomorrow? Maybe he's just setting the tone tonight for the pads tomorrow. We got to be better tomorrow, guys. I know it's days, basically a week now into camp. Everybody's tired, but that's not good enough. If we want to be the team we say we want to be, we got to bring it every single day, and I expect more tomorrow.
So
Vikes on 3.
We start with 2 straight primetime games, correct?
Is that
Monday
right?
night and then Sunday night the next week. I believe we're on Sunday Night Football the next week. Double check that. But I think we start with 2 national TV games back-to-back, which is bad news for me because that means it's actually good on Sunday night doesn't mean anything. I'll have the
it's the
2-hour sermons. It's the Falcons.
It's the Falcons, the home opener. Michael Penix.
Why is that? Why were they excited about getting us to play Atlanta again? Did they think Cousins was still going to be a factor? Didn't they already know by then that Penix was the guy?
Yeah, that wouldn't have had anything to do with it.
I just don't. I mean, I know a lot of people are high on what Atlanta might be. It just doesn't seem like. I wouldn't put it at the top of the list for a primetime game that early.
Maybe they want to just burn Atlanta right out of the gate.
Yeah, that could be.
Or the Vikings right out of the gate.
That might have something to do with it.
I'm not sure.
That's very, very true, Davey. You know what else we have to talk about before we're done? The Deion Sanders developments.
Yeah.
Significant health issues that he went awfully public on.
Yesterday.
Right?
Yeah.
Yesterday. There's a lot, I think, to discuss in that regard, the approach that he's taking with this thing. And I don't know, maybe there's no other approach if you're going to be a coach that you can take. But
it's hard to keep that
scary.
Stuff private.
It is
when you're that right. Public.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Because he's had a couple of things.
Yeah.
He had to have some toes, I think, amputated a few years ago. Like, he's had a couple of things. I just think it's so hard to keep everything private. And he mentioned that it was essentially sort of regular checkup that kind of found some of it. It wasn't like he was experiencing symptoms or anything like that. So it's why you go to the doctor.
Yes, and we will ode the late great Ryne Sandberg of the Chicago Cubs. Just a horrible story there. Prostate cancer that he kind of pushed back on once, but it recurred. I think it had spread a little bit, and he dies at the age of 65 years old. And he is a throwback to a different baseball era, not just in a baseball sense, but in a Wrigley Field / Cubs sense. That I have a few things I want to get into, and then we'll certainly, I think, try to do justice to his outstanding career. I mean, the guy was just one. I was a Hall of Famer, not surprising. A terrific second baseman, great hitter, and the Cubs got him for a song. It was one of the most lopsided. Usually the Cubs are on the wrong end of those kinds of deals. And they got him, I think, for a shortstop named Ivan DeJesus, who was okay.
Good, man. How are you?
But not great at that time.
Right,
Jonathan Greenard, kind enough to join us. Nice to meet you. Have a seat if you'd like, if you want to sit, or you can stand, whatever's better for you. We'll give you the headset, and we'll get you in and out of here quickly. Vikings practice is in the rearview mirror, and I'll start with thank you for the time, first of all.
Of course. Appreciate y'all.
Now, I'm wondering, based on what we were watching, and we're kind of at an angle here.
Yeah.
And based on what we heard yesterday, I'm wondering if you feel guilty at all. Because it sounds like the defense is dominating the number one offense throughout much of the last couple of days. Do you feel any guilt for that?
I wouldn't say guilt. I think we're all just, competing at a high level, and I think it's just a tribute to, iron sharpening iron is what we always say. So, we'll get the best offense sometimes, and they have some plays where they get the best of us. I mean, I think we just added some pieces to this group this year to kind of build on what we already started. And when you have a new system on our side, well, not new system, new guys on our side, they're adjusting to how we operate. And in our offense, they got a couple other guys, CD's obviously working his way back in too. So we got other guys filling in and making sure they're getting their reps for whenever they're number is called. So it's just a combination of everything. But I think ultimately we're all competing. And I think anything can happen when we compete. And obviously we want to definitely win. So we're going to definitely carry that mindset every time.
You're getting a lot of accolades from your head coach that yesterday for sure. And I can't remember who it was. It was one of the linemen, one of the offensive linemen also. And so, look, you've had a very distinguished career already. Sure. But is there something else going on here? Do you feel like there is another level to get to that you're committed to? What's going on here?
1,000%. I mean, as a team, we weren't satisfied how the season ended.
Yeah.
And in myself, I wasn't satisfied for how I did my season. I mean, obviously, to some it was a lot. I did a good thing, and I always give myself some credit at times. But as Kobe always kind of say, the job's not finished. Right. I love to try to take it to another level because at this game, it's all about taking it to another level. Whenever you get stagnant or complacent, that's when you get passed up on. And I think that can't be the model for us. We have to be able to continue to reach new levels to get where we want to be. So I'm excited to see where we can go with this for sure.
How would you say, in a football sense, are you used differently than where you were previously? Is it in terms of your role? How has it evolved here, and how similar, how different is it from back then?
I mean, I think they both teams kind of just wanted me to go and just play. I think over here it's a little bit more freedom. But now that I've got more comfortable within the system.
Gotcha.
I always try to do things within the scheme. If they say, hey, you can do this on certain plays versus this look, I always try to take advantage and use that to my ability because I'm a guy that can play with power, can play with speed, play with length. So I use a lot of those things to my advantage. So whenever I do get the opportunity to exploit that and then exploit other mismatches within other offenses while within the scheme, I'm definitely going to take that opportunity. So that's what allows me to be myself, and I can just continue to just play ball.
There's been a lot of discussion here about the B-Flow defense and how unique it seems to be.
For sure.
Players talk about, relatively speaking, the amount of freedom they have. So is he cooking up? You got a couple new pieces, too,
for sure.
this year. Is he cooking up even newer stuff to add to the mix? There's a lot of talk about, this is sort of like now for several who've been around here for a while, almost like a master's class.
For sure.
That he's elevating it and asking for more. Is that a fair representation?
Yeah, for sure. Flo's always is going to be cooking up. We call him the mad scientist. He's always at times, in the middle of the night just trying to figure out what he can add to it. But we're also going to stick to doing a lot of things that we do very well. So I don't want to say we're going to completely reinvent the wheel, but we're just going to add things to it, the different elements to keep everybody guessing. But one thing for sure, we're definitely going to be very, very aggressive. So no doubt about that. We're just going to try to figure out ways to make it more hard on offenses, for sure.
You mentioned, it didn't end last year the way you wanted. You guys had a terrific regular season.
For sure.
You lose the Detroit game, and then it goes south pretty quick in the postseason game. So give me a little window into your mentality. Are you someone who tries to just literally block that out? You don't want to look back? Are you somebody who goes back and looks at the tape or watches the game?
Yeah.
What's your approach after that, as competitive as you are?
Being honest with you, I didn't look at the film at all until about maybe a couple months after the season had ended. I just did not like it. I wanted to just I was so just honestly disgusted. I didn't like how it ended. But my only way to kind of deal with it was just, hey, man, listen, put that to rest. We're not even going to look at it because it happened. I didn't want to dwell on it, and at that point, I just worked my tail off with that in the back of my mind. Every workout, I just was trying to figure out, hey, how could I have done something more to make that play, or doing this for my teammate in XYZ. So just having that mindset all off season kind of propelled me to have those days, even when I'm tired, exhausted. It's just like, listen, well, what happened that last game of the season? And I kind of always just think back to that, so that way I can always kind of have something to look forward to and know what I'm working for.
For you, how does the off season work? Do you consciously try, at least for a while, to quote unquote get away from it, to relax? What's your approach in that regard, and how do you relax?
Yeah, as soon as the season ended, like I said, I didn't really watch the film. I just basically chilled it with the family. My daughter was I was just being daddy mode the entire time, being a family man with my wife as well. So just being, giving my all to them, because obviously I've taken so much away from them while being in during the season. I just want to give them my full attention. So those first couple of months, I did that. I still worked out a little bit to stay in shape, but for the most part, I was just focusing on them. But then I just hit it consistently hard. And whenever, as soon as that Super Bowl pretty much ended, I just wanted to work my tail off. And, you know, I gave myself breaks at times, but for the most part, I was working. I didn't really care to have a break because what am I breaking for? You know, honestly, it's like I hate the feeling of somebody outworking me. It's kind of weird at times. Like, I just like, I never took a day off, honestly, until recently, to where I can just decompress right before camp started. So, but it's just always in the back of my mind. I just was never satisfied, and I was like, listen, nobody's going to outwork me. I'm going to try to put my best foot forward and do everything I can to put myself in the best position next year.
Jonathan Greenard, kind enough to join us after practice today, Dateline Eagan, Minnesota. What is Greenard 7-on-7? What's that all about?
So with my foundation, we pretty much are into everything, giving back in the community. I first started out my old high school, and I had about 4 teams there, and I called up, there were local schools within the county, and then basically I brought another school from another county, which is Douglas County, last year, 2 years ago, and they split it, and they won our tournament. So we hosted at the next county over, which is where I grew up in Douglas County as well. And basically what we did, had a 7-on-7, 5 teams came to compete this past year. Had a $10,000 gift to their football program.
That's great.
The second runner-up had $5,000. So Creekside High School is another team, which is in South Fulton, which is a neighboring county right next to Douglas County. So next year I look forward to hosting it possibly there. So each team, whoever wins it, we not only we donate to that school, but we let them host it that next year. And then we just have the teams come out. They don't have to worry about a thing. We pay for travel. We pay for food, beverage, all of that. We just tell the kids to show up. And that even goes back to now we're even having a back-to-school drive where I donated 150 backpacks back to my partner in gym that I train at back in the county. So having kids to come out there to be able to get some free gear, come out, have food. I just like to be back in the community. I feel like there wasn't many people doing that when I was growing up, and I think that I could be that person to be there and just show my face and being like, hey, I'm at this level. It can be done, and you also can be the person in your community to try to propel everybody else to get to where you're at, because I definitely think it's possible. I believe in every single kid that I come in contact with up there, and let them know that it can be done. So I make sure that that's my job, and I stay in their lives, so that way I'm like a big brother to them.
Why is this so important to you?
Man, I'm the baby, so I've always had a lot of people pouring into me. My big brother and my big sister, tribute to them. I mean, they do a lot of things for me to this point now, continuously pouring into me, and I love that feeling of having things poured into me and, you know, soaking up knowledge and wisdom. So anytime I can do that, especially now understanding where I am in my platform and where I am, I always used to be a guy that just, you know, I've done my part by saying something, but actually going and being active in the community is something that I'm definitely taking heart, and making sure that I go back every single year to do something. So they know that this is not the last they're going to see of me, and I look forward to impacting on all the youth around everywhere. So definitely starting with the hometown, and definitely branching out from there. Just definitely start.
Was this Georgia?
Yes, this is Georgia.
I thought.
Yeah.
We were just. It's funny because by coincidence we were just talking about this earlier today. You familiar with Buford High School?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So apparently they just opened their new $62 million stadium.
Yeah, it's like 10,000 seats or something
and
like that.
15 luxury suites.
Yeah, for sure.
3,500 square foot scoreboard. It's an empire.
Football is big in Georgia. I mean, and Buford is one of the powerhouses for sure.
Yeah.
Not every school looks like that for sure, but Buford has won a lot of state championships, but they have a lot of people pouring into a community, and that's kind of where I want to be like that too, and want to have every school look like Buford, you know?
Right.
Because, you know, when you get, and a lot of people, they don't have access to these things. They don't really see it like that. And anytime you can go see it, seeing is believing it. And I said, listen, this can be done if we all pour back into it. If I can get other people that pitch even a little bit, I'm not telling them to match anything that I'm doing. Listen, whether you're pouring knowledge, monetarily, just your time, anything, I feel like all of these things within the community can build us up and bring more football, more players, and more exposure in general to the small neighboring counties. Like myself, I grew up in Hiram, which is Hiram, Georgia, small town, and you know, everybody kind of passes through it, but they were like, oh, I was just in Hiram. But it's really right there, and I think that's the main thing where, you know, people not used to seeing it. I mean, I never seen anybody at that point going to the NFL or at least D1 at the time to come back and pour into it, so why not me?
How much did basketball mean to you in high school?
It meant it was a good thing. I was one of those guys who was, I loved the game more of, I wasn't the best player, but I loved the game so much, understanding like how to play the game, you know, how to set certain things up. But I just wasn't that good. I mean, I was willing to admit that I can hold my own, but I knew that my future was going to be on the gridiron.
There was never any question about that?
Yeah, never question, but I just understood. But I also learned how to pass rush while playing basketball. I got my footwork right, coordinated right. Our now athletic director, principal now at my old high school was our basketball coach at the time.
Gotcha.
And he'll tell you I wasn't the best player, but one thing I did did take serious was the footwork when it came to post work, understanding how to spin, how to do certain things, and it all translated to pass rush. So now we laugh about it every day, but it's one of those things where you might not be the best at it, but take little small lessons from it in the midst of it, even though you're not seeing the true success that you want to see. But I just use that to make sure that I became the best player I could be, and whatever he needed me to do at that time, whether it was rebounding, playing defense, guarding the best player, or guarding the big man, I did it. So hats off to him. I appreciate him. Shout out Coach Haas back at High.
So tell me about, are you getting closer to finishing your MBA? Where is that all going?
So I have about 20 hours left.
Okay.
20 hours.
Is it something in the back of your head
100%.
you want to pursue?
100%. I think if it wasn't for football, when I transferred my last year in Florida, knowing I was going to do a year, I would have just stayed and finished it out. But I would say God had different plans for me, and I definitely took that leap to come to the NFL. But my mom, for sure, me and her talk about it all the time. She's saying, "You going back to get an MBA?" And I said, "Listen, you're not the only one that think that, because I feel like that holds so much weight. I mean, having an MBA from Florida in entrepreneurship is something that I truly be able to hang up on the wall and hold true to it. I already have a undergrad in sport administration at Louisville. To tally on that just would be something to be icing on the cake. So I definitely look forward to doing
Education important to you and the family?
100,
your mom?
100%. I mean, I was the little knucklehead in the first couple years of high school till top schools came in and looked at the transcript like, hey, how are you such a good, articulate kid, but the paperwork doesn't match up? And that's my message I speak to the younger kids as well, is you can talk a good game, have everything figured out off the field, but having a good GPA doesn't just tell how smart you are, just showing how disciplined you are. Are you going to sit here and learn this information? Are you going to sit here and retain the information and be able to regurgitate it back to me in a way that you understand and not just reading it from a book? So I tell them to take it serious. I don't want people to figure out and see the bad side of it before they see the good, so why not start with a high GPA throughout the whole way? So I definitely look forward to that, and definitely thank God my wife, she's the brains of the family. So my daughter, she's definitely gonna get the good brains from my mom for sure.
So did I see a tweet from you the other day? Did you get a shout out from Beyonce at a concert?
Man, listen, so I was at the concert back in Atlanta, and literally I'm just sitting there, me and my wife at the concert, and she said, hey, Jonathan, and I was like, man, listen, I've come to the right place. It was in Atlanta, my birthplace. And nobody could tell me anything at that point. I was actually on the fence of not going, and literally her doing that, I said, listen, I was destined to be here.
That's pretty good.
For sure.
Did you get to meet her?
I did not. No. I did not. I was too far in the stand, so she probably could have been talking about somebody else, but I'm not living. She was calling my name. She meant Jonathan Greenard, not anybody else in the stands.
That's outstanding. Hey, by the way, a lot of time obviously in the South, so do you get used to the weather? Can you do that with the cold? Are you okay with it, or has it been kind of a challenge?
This was definitely a challenge this past year. Like I said, me and my wife is from Miami. I'm from Georgia, so we met each other at Florida my last year. So all we know is the heat, and obviously coming from Houston in the past, all we knew is heat. So we knew it was going to be in a run for our money, but we definitely didn't know it was going to be this bad. And to hear people say that it wasn't even that cold, we had a warmer temp. I said, listen, I don't even want to figure out what it's going to be.
You don't want to know,
it gets cold. So, but I mean, we love it. I mean, we rather be in the cold than in the heat, because you can bundle up for this. You can't undress for the heat.
That's a good point.
That's our motto when it comes to that.
Last item, going back to football as we wrap up. We really appreciate the time. Talk to me a little bit about your early impressions of the additions to your defensive front. Because again, you guys had a really good season last year overall. Fifth, I think, number 5 in points allowed. But I know you want more. So give me your early impressions of who's been added, the veterans who've been added to this group.
Jonathan Allen, and Javon Hargraves. I mean, those names there speak for themselves. I mean, they're two household names. I mean, we already know what Javon could do, even just back to the Philly days when he was at the top of his game. And as we all know, J.A., just from the jump, even going back to Alabama, we just knew what type of kid that he was going to be. And then to see the man-child that he's obviously become now is actually insane. But they make my job easier. Whenever you got guys like that, and even shouts out to Isaiah Rodgers coming in as a vet. He just has so much knowledge for the game in a way that kind of can speak to the younger players and make their game a lot more easy and a lot more smoother on them, so that where they're not thinking as much, they can expect certain things out of these in different coverages. And it's just a lot of ball. I think it's just a lot of knowledge that is just being spread around in this building. And even on the defensive side, we got Will Fries, Ryan Kelly. Those two there are just literally bringing their chemistry over and their ball knowledge as well to help us be better. And I think Jordan Mason as well. I mean, that kid is literally going to be a dog running that football football, but heck, he's learning right behind Aaron Jones, you know. So at every position, it's just literally somebody that's there to mentor or at least bring something new to the table so that way they can all just propel our games. I mean, because at the end of the day, nobody cares about last year.
That's true.
We got to be better than next year. I mean, be better than last year. And I think we all hold that, and we all want the same thing, too. So I think when you bring in a whole bunch of guys like that, they have the same common goal and the same common mindset. It's so easy to play with those guys and so easy to just make plays with them, for sure.
We all get lost and our heads turned with skill.
100%.
But line and scrimmage, man, offensive and defensive lines. Yep. And to me, that's the beauty of the decision
100%.
To spend where this team did to 100%. Help those areas, correct?
That's 100%. I think, like you say, it's one in the trenches. You got to set the tone, and I think we've done that, and we can do it with people turning the ball over from the DBs to safeties. You name it, even the linebackers. Yeah. We can do that. But if we can get our front four and our front seven, I say front four, if we can rush forward and get pressure and knock these things out. You see the top teams how they're winning the Super Bowl.
No question.
They're rushing forward and playing coverage behind it, and I think now we finally got to that point where we can actually make a name for ourselves. Where our rushing forward, we can be a dominant force. So I'm super, super excited. I mean, these guys are just I can see the joy in their eyes, like when they came, like I did last year when I first came here, and it's kind of like it's hard to believe. It's like, this is what you all do. This is the mindset. This is the energy that's here every single day. And I say, yes, we're all here happy to just make plays. We can be ourselves, and football is fun. And that's what we want. Whenever you're having fun with this game and you're winning, it makes it that much easier.
Really appreciate you coming to see us. Thanks
Always.
So much, man.
Thank
Good luck
again.
this season.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Again.
Jonathan Greenard, kind enough to join us after Vikings practice. We expect a visit from Kevin Seifert in a little bit. Ode to a Dead Guy to get to, and much more before we wrap things up from Dateline, Eagan, Minnesota at 6:30.
Get ready, Minnesota. Comedian Jorgen Klepper is bringing the laughs to the Fillmore December 14th with the Suffering Fools Tour. One night only. High energy, big laughs, no filter. Tickets available now for the added matinee show. Get all the details now, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Kevin Seifert is with us from the exclusive KFAN Radio, Vikings Radio Network perch at Vikings training camp today. Welcome back. Thank you for the time. Let's get serious first, and then we'll talk about stuff that just has to do with the day-to-day dealings of this particular football team. We had tragedy strike New York, Manhattan in particular yesterday. A gunman kills 4, then kills himself. And it appears from all the media information or reporting that's been done to this point is that his intent here was to target National Football League headquarters, but apparently took the wrong elevator, among other things. What do we know? What have you heard? And what have you guys been reporting at ESPN about this particular story?
Yeah, that's what the mayor of New York said, is that based on the preliminary investigation that he wanted to, he had some paraphernalia either with him or in the area that he left relating to CTE, and he wanted to confront the NFL about that, and he wanted he left a note to have his brain studied for CTE. We all know that there's been a lot of discussion the past 2 decades, not only about concussions but about CTE, which is the condition that there has been research that suggests that sort of the repetitive head trauma that football players and other athletes in other sports endure during the course of their careers can lead to this degenerative disease. And so it's just takes your breath away when you think about what could have happened if he had gotten on the elevator that takes you to the floor of the NFL. I mean, I've been to that office. Like, you can't just walk in the door even when you get out of the elevator, but we have seen that people with machine guns can get through that sort of security. And so it's tragic enough that 4 people lost their lives and others were injured, but I can't imagine what might have happened had he burst through that NFL door. So
the New York Post, I think, is reported earlier today that the note that he left behind also mentioned a PBS documentary about concussions called League of Denial.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned the Fainaru brothers, which is an apparent reference to Mark Fainaru-Wada and Steve Fainaru. We had one or both of them on, did we not? I think it may have been Mark on that the book they released along with the documentary as well. Do we know? Did the shooter participate in football in high school? Do we know how much football he actually played?
I don't know if that's been firmly established as fact. He definitely wasn't a professional player.
Right.
An NFL wasn't like a retired NFL player that was targeting it. But the League of Denial, what you're talking about, and then it became a movie with Will Smith.
That's right.
It was a concussion,
yes,
and
right.
it's like that whole investigation it started with Mike Webster, the Steelers. That was the center who ended up being homeless, and he was mentally ill, and they studied his brain and found that it had this condition. And but sort of the point of the further research has been that it's not like you need to keep playing all the way until you're in the NFL before this can happen to you. You know, there's hockey players where it's happened. There's high school people that age people who have died, and they've done they studied the brain and found signs of it. And so it's become kind of a hot button political issue as well. It's like you shouldn't play football because you can catch CTE. It's not a germ, it's not a bacteria, but it's something that and then the other side of it is people will suggest that it's like, if it's that prevalent in football, like is it also prevalent if you're like a construction worker and you're dealing with certain things, and all different kinds of places where you can suffer that kind of brain damage.
The reports I've read also indicate that he is an individual, the shooter, who's been dealing with mental illness on and off for a period of time.
Which can be CTE.
It could be that. It could be who knows what else as well. And so the league, in terms of that, I guess, connection and that story, update us on, because for a long time it was in denial, the league was. Yeah. I think they've come closer to acknowledge some of it, but where are we in that whole continuum?
Yeah. So in the time period where I've covered the league from 1999 until now, it has changed dramatically for the better in terms of when I started covering football. Like the NFL's official policy was that they would not connect football with concussions. Like that, the two things are or brain damage. Or they were not even willing to make that connection. And I don't know if they were worried about legal issues or what. When I first started covering football, players would suffer concussions, and if they weren't knocked out, they eventually made their way back into games. Now that is much less likely to happen. And so everyone can come up with their own idea about the motivations and why they're doing this. Is it out of the kindness of their heart, or is it because they want to protect themselves from legal or need to be insured or whatever? But the league has created this entire concussion protocol that requires you to go through a multi-step process anytime that anybody in the stadium or on the medical staff for the team thinks you might have suffered a concussion, to go through a diagnostic process and then to go through a recovery process if you were then diagnosed. And there has to be some involvement from independent neurologists to prevent the team doctor, I guess, in theory, from just doing whatever was best for the team and clearing them when they can't be cleared. And they're even, they even more recently have started acknowledging that it's not just the concussions that they're worried about, but also these repetitive hits that offensive linemen especially will, on every play kind of headbutt each other when they come out of their stances a lot at the snap. And so they've not just concussions, but all head contact whatsoever. So they funded all this innovation in helmet technology, position specific. For a quarterback, there's extra padding in the back for when they fall backwards and hit their head on the turf. For offensive linemen, and there's more. If you look at the offensive line helmets, they're more protection in the front because they kind of headbutt people, like I said. And so, is this all perfect? Is it everything they could be doing? Probably not. But like, there has been a major sea turn in the generation since I started covering the league to at least acknowledge that this is something that has to be done, even if you don't have a kind bone in your body, to ensure that you will have corporate sponsorships, to ensure that insurance companies are willing to insure you to play football, that you've done everything you can, even just from a legal sense, to protect players from concussions and to look out for their health. So much, much better, probably tons more to do, but not even close to resembling the way things looked 25 years ago.
That's the irony, of course. I'm not sitting here, and I would never offer any excuse for the terrorist act, as far as I'm concerned, and the murder that this individual was involved in. But the comments from the note almost in of themselves seem dated to that other period when the league was in denial. And that, again, you could say, well, there's still more than they can do. But the fact is, you've laid out very nicely, summarized nicely, all of the changes that have been made.
But it also it speaks to how long it takes to change the public narrative. I wouldn't expect. This is my job.
Right.
And for a long time, this was what I covered. As extensively as anything. I wouldn't expect most people to know about all that sort of thing as much as publicity as we brought to it, and the NFL has tried to generate for it. It takes a long time for people to realize that this is no longer being ignored. And there's also people who fall through the cracks. There's also people who are cared for by imperfect doctors or imperfect coaches or whatever. And so it doesn't mean that this particular person didn't actually face a lot of denial or face a lot of I don't know the whole story.
We don't know the story yet. Yeah.
But things have been moving in the right direction.
All right, we'll make this the top of the hour pause. I think Blakemore's going to be off the hook for top 5 because we've got Kevin Seifert for another segment, and we will talk more about Vikings practice today and an update on a number of things related to the play on the field as well. Part 2 with Seifert. We will, before this program is done, ode Ryan Sandberg, I should say, the Chicago Cubs great, who has died at the age of 65 years old. So much to get to between now and 6:30, but more Seifert in a minute here on The Fan.